Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next hour. Over 100 dead after multiple earthquakes in Tibet. Nepal, Bhutan and India feel the tremors. Delhi Assembly election to be held in a single phase on 5th February. Counting of votes on the 8th. Another blow to impeach South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol. Anti-graft agency issues new arrest warrant. And Trump's son lands in Greenland after the US President-elect expresses interest in acquiring it. India has made significant strides in the field of artificial intelligence, particularly since the turn of the millennium. India is positioning itself as a global AI hub with applications ranging from healthcare to agriculture and smart cities. And companies are drawing up ambitious plans to expand AI technology in India and around the world.
Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella called on India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi on Monday. Various aspects of tech innovation and artificial intelligence, AI, dominated the agenda of the meeting. PM Modi on X wrote, "It was indeed a delight to meet you, Satya Nadella. Glad to know about Microsoft's ambitious expansion and investment plans in India. It was also wonderful discussing various aspects of tech innovation and AI in our meeting." Thanking India's Prime Minister, Nadella said, "Thank you, PM Narendra Modi ji, for your leadership. Excited to build on our commitment to making India AI first and work together on our continued expansion in the country to ensure every Indian benefits from this AI platform shift." During his visit to India, Microsoft Chairman and CEO Satya Nadella on Tuesday announced the company's plans to invest $3 billion in India in cloud and AI infrastructure and skilling over the next 2 years, including the establishment of new data centers. This investment aims to accelerate AI innovation in India, which is pivotal for achieving Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of becoming a developed nation, Viksit Bharat, by 2047. Microsoft will also support the country's long-term competitiveness by training 10 million people over the next 5 years with AI skills as part of the second edition of the Advantage India program. Satya Nadella said, "India is rapidly becoming a leader in AI innovation, unlocking new opportunity across the country. The investments in infrastructure and skilling we are announcing today reaffirm our commitment to making India AI first and will help ensure people and organizations across the country benefit broadly." Let's understand how AI became a game changer for India. India launched the India AI mission in March 2024 to bolster India's global leadership. It will provide an opportunity to explore the potential of AI in addressing critical challenges. India AI has launched the second round of Expression of Interest. India is playing a vital role in reshaping the future of data storage, computing, and AI-driven solutions. Vishal Sikka, formerly of Infosys, is another CEO who called on Prime Minister Modi recently. Sikka said on X that he discussed about AI and its impact on India. The Prime Minister replied to Sikka on X saying that India was committed to taking the lead in AI. NVIDIA Chief Executive Jensen Huang made a rock star appearance at the CES 2025, a consumer electronics show in the US city of Las Vegas on Monday, unveiling personal computers enhanced with chips and AI capabilities.
Imagine this is what it looks like. You know, who doesn't want one of those? And if you use PC, Mac, you know, anything. Because you know, it's a cloud platform. It's a cloud computing platform that sits on your desk. You could also use it as a Linux workstation if you like.
South Korean major Samsung showcased AI-powered devices to make homes more connected. LG Electronics, also of South Korea, unveiled several new artificial intelligence features for its home products, while Japan's Sony opened reservations for its Afeela AI EV. In July 2024, India hosted a global India AI summit at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi, marking a significant milestone in the country's AI journey. The Indian government's initiatives such as AI for All and the National AI Strategy underscore a commitment to harnessing AI for societal benefit. The latest country to join the AI bandwagon is the United Arab Emirates, where nearly half of the Emirati companies are using advanced language models in their operations. The newly released white paper exploring AI adoption in West Asia reveals that 53.25% of the respondents were from the UAE, 27% of businesses are actively exploring AI, 36% are in the initial stages of adoption, 13% demonstrate deep integration, and another 13% pioneer innovative AI applications. With Vinod Kumar in Dubai, Bureau Report, DD India.
Bhubaneswar, the temple city of India, is abuzz with anticipation to host the 18th Prasar Bharati Divas from Wednesday. The Prasar Bharati Divas, which is Hindi for Overseas Indian Day, celebrates the contributions of the Indian diaspora to the growth and development of the nation. This year's Prasar Bharati Divas promises to be a landmark event, weaving together the themes of heritage, innovation and global engagement in the spiritual and cultural heartland of India.
Bhubaneswar, the capital city of Odisha, will host the 18th Prasar Bharati Divas convention from Wednesday. The three-day event will be held from the 8th to the 10th of this month. Youth Prasar Bharati Divas will be inaugurated by External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar along with the Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia and the Chief Minister of Odisha. Dr. Dev Pragad, the CEO of the American magazine Newsweek, is the chief guest of the Youth Prasar Bharati Divas.
The Prasar Bharati Divas convention is being organized for the first time in the state of Odisha, which is famous for its rich historical, cultural and spiritual heritage. The 18th Prasar Bharati Divas convention will be formally inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji, on 9th of January. Her Excellency Christian Carla Kangalu, ORTT, the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, will be the chief guest of the 18th Prasar Bharati Divas, and she would be virtually addressing the convention.
9th of January is observed as the Prasar Bharati Divas since 2003 to mark the contribution of overseas Indian community to the development of India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be inaugurating this year's Prasar Bharati Divas on Thursday. Chief guest of the 18th Prasar Bharati Divas, the President of Trinidad and Tobago, Christine Carla Kangalu, will be addressing the convention virtually. Prime Minister Modi will also virtually flag off the first special tourist train for Indian diaspora, the Prasar Bharati Express. The train will depart from Nizamuddin railway station in Delhi, covering multiple destinations of tourist and religious importance. President Draupadi Murmu will address the valedictory session of the PBD on Friday. The President will also confer the Prasar Bharati Samman Awards to the overseas Indians to recognize their outstanding achievements both in India and abroad. The theme for this year's Prasar Bharati Divas, Diaspora's Contribution to Viksit Bharat, resonates with India's vision to make the diaspora an integral part of India's growth story, harnessing their potential on one hand, using the cultural connect, but also giving them opportunity to become equal stakeholders in India's growth story as it endeavors to become a developed country by 2047. With cameraman Sanjay Jaina, this is Amritpal Singh for DD India in Bhubaneswar.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday received a telephone call from the European Council President Antonio Costa. PM Modi congratulated Costa on his assumption of charge as the President of the European Council. Noting the substantive progress made in India-EU strategic partnership over the past decade, the two leaders agreed to work closely towards bolstering ties, including in trade and green energy, as well as digital space. According to an official press release, they also underlined the need for early conclusion of a mutually beneficial India-EU FTA. The leaders looked forward to the next India-EU summit to be held in India at a mutually convenient date. An earthquake shook Tibet and Nepal, causing widespread devastation. The magnitude 7.1 quake hit Tibet the hardest. It claimed many lives and injured many more. DD India's Rahul Upadhyay reports.
After years of relative calm in the Himalayan region, the mountains shook again and became a nightmare for the locals of Tibet and Nepal. The massive quake of 7.1 magnitude claimed many lives in Tibet and left a trail of destruction. The earthquake shook buildings in neighboring Nepal, Bhutan and India, but all the deaths were reported on the Tibetan side. While a series of aftershocks have hit China's Zhejiang region following a deadly earthquake, further tremors could be possible in the region.
There
were 8 earthquakes between magnitude 3 and 3.9. Generally, the aftershock activity is relatively weak so far. So an earthquake of magnitude 5 or higher is entirely possible, but the possibility of a much larger earthquake is not high, according to the current assessment made by experts.
Military personnel and firefighters were deployed for relief and rescue efforts, actively searching for survivors and clearing rubble and debris from severely damaged homes in Sigatse, the second largest city in the region. The epicenter of the earthquake was high up in the remote Tibetan plateau, close to the Himalayan border with Nepal, about 50 miles north of Mount Everest, approximately 91 kilometers from Lubushe in Nepal. It was followed by numerous aftershocks with magnitudes up to 4.4. An earthquake of this magnitude is considered strong and is capable of causing severe damage.
I was sleeping at the time. The bed was shaking and I thought my child was moving the bed. I didn't pay that much attention, but the shaking of the window made me realize that it's an earthquake.
Tremors were also felt in the northern Indian state of Bihar, which borders Nepal. Emergency response teams in Nepal and India are on high alert to assess the impact of the earthquake. Officials are closely monitoring the situation and have urged citizens to remain calm and prepare for possible aftershocks. Rahul Upadhyay's report for DD India.
Still to come on DD India News Hour. Trump renews offer to make Canada the 51st US state. South Korea political crisis deepens. And France marks 10 years of the Charlie Hebdo attack.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has decided to resign because of increasing dissent within his party. He will serve as interim leader until a new one is chosen. Trudeau's resignation comes amid his declining popularity and mounting political pressures, including threats from US President-elect Donald Trump. The Liberal Party must now find a new leader before the next election.
Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced his resignation on Monday, saying he would leave office as soon as his party chooses a new leader, with slumping polls and internal division taking their toll. After more than 9 years in power, Trudeau's support within the ruling Liberal Party began crumbling in 2024 due to intensifying public criticism focused on the rising cost of living. A subdued Trudeau told a press conference that he would stay as the Prime Minister until the party chooses a new chief.
I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Last night, I asked the President of the Liberal Party to begin that process.
His authority was then shaken by the surprise departure last month of his Finance Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, Chrystia Freeland. Across the country, Trudeau's resignation did not surprise. Trudeau's Liberals are trailing badly in the polls to the opposition Conservatives.
This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election.
Trudeau took office in November 2015 with a message of hope and sunny ways and won re-election twice. But his popularity started dipping 2 years ago as prices of groceries and housing rose in the post-COVID period and his fortunes never recovered. Canadian media have tipped Freeland as a possible Liberal leader. Trudeau has received permission from Canada's Governor-General to suspend all parliamentary business until March 24. That could give the Liberals time to choose a new leader while restricting the opposition's chances to bring a vote of no confidence. Bureau Report, DD India.
US President-elect Donald Trump reiterated his call for Canada to join the US as its 51st state as he reacted to Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's resignation. In a post on his social media site Truth Social, Trump said, and I quote, "Many people in Canada love being the 51st state. The United States can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat. Justin Trudeau knew this and resigned," unquote. He said there would be no tariffs if Canada joined the United States. Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has said that Greenland is not for sale shortly after Donald Trump Jr., the son of US President-elect Donald Trump, visited Greenland weeks after his father suggested Washington, D.C. could annex the island. She said Greenland's future should be decided by its inhabitants. Geographically located in North America, Greenland is an autonomous Danish territory. Meanwhile, Trump Jr. said he was visiting the resource-rich island as a tourist.
Here as tourists, seeing it looks like an incredible place. We've been talking about going for a while. I was actually supposed to be here last spring for some of the stuff I do in my free time, but just really excited to be here. Awesome country. The scenery coming in was just spectacular. So just very excited to be here. Thank you.
Political crisis in South Korea intensifies as a fresh arrest warrant for impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol is reissued. Yoon evaded arrest for a week, holed up in his villa behind heavy security. Protests erupted outside with supporters and opponents holding rallies. Investigators face resistance but remain determined. Syed Absarul Hassan has more.
The political crisis in South Korea deepens as a fresh warrant has been issued for impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol. For the last 1 week, Yoon has been evading arrest South Korea's corruption investigation agency revealed the court has reissued the warrant for his arrest following his failed attempt to impose martial law, which led to significant turmoil in the country. Yoon has remained holed up in his sprawling hillside villa located behind barbed wire and protected by a small army of personal security along with his wife, dogs and cats. Satellite images of the area show a street leading to his official residence in Hanondong, a district known as Korea's Beverly Hills, popular with business tycoons and celebrities. Security forces have barricaded the road leading to the residence with buses and barbed wire. Since his impeachment and suspension by Parliament on December 3 over his controversial martial law decree, Yoon has stayed low at his residence. Investigators attempting to question him over charges of insurrections have been facing difficulties in executing the arrest warrant. Last week, the head of the investigation unit was blocked by a human chain of funded presidential security services and military guard outside his residence. Despite the resistance, the investigation team remains determined to bring him in. Protests have been taking place outside Yoon's residence, with both supporters and opponents rallying. Conservatives groups backing Yoon and labor groups with opposing views have been calling for public actions regarding his arrest. Supporters of the president argue that removing him from office will not resolve the country's broader challenges.
This is fundamentally a conflict between the Free Bloc and the Socialist Bloc. The United States stands at the very top of the Free Bloc, and South Korea is the country that has benefited the most from that top nation. At least I think so, and so the United States has more than enough reason to protect South Korea.
It remains unclear how the investigating agency will execute the arrest as the Presidential Guard continues to prevent it. Syed Afsarul Hasan for DD India.
Taiwan kicked off a 3-day annual military exercise on Tuesday to highlight its military preparedness ahead of the Lunar New Year. It demonstrated its land defense capability by having units capture areas of the Hsinchu military base occupied by troops posing as opposition force. At the Taichung Air Base, crews scrambled to launch fighter jets. Taiwan's defense ministry said on Tuesday that they had detected 24 Chinese aircraft, including fighter jets and drones. Taiwan's first drill of the year came just weeks after China unveiled a new tactic on Taiwan. Officials and experts say by deploying a large number of naval and coast guard vessels to normalize a heightened military presence. The U.S. state of Louisiana reported the first human death in the country because of bird flu. A patient hospitalized with H5N1 died on Monday. The patient, aged more than 65, was hospitalized with the virus on 18th December after exposure to a combination of backyard chickens and wild birds. The H5N1 bird flu has been spreading widely among wild birds, poultry, cows, and other animals in the U.S. The director of the Pandemic Center at the Brown University School of Public Health in the U.S. has termed it a serious threat. Since March, 66 confirmed bird flu infections have been reported in the U.S., but previous illnesses have been mild and most have been detected among farm workers exposed to sick poultry or dairy cows. Elsewhere in France has identified its first case of the new Mpox variant. A case of the Clade 1b variant was detected in the northwestern region of Brittany. France's health ministry said the patient had not traveled to Central Africa, where the new form of the virus originated, but the authorities are investigating the source of the infection. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization declared the clade 1b variant of Mpox as a global health emergency in August. Mpox is caused by a virus transmitted by infected animals to humans, but it can also be passed from humans to humans through close physical contact. Tuesday marks the 10th anniversary of the attacks on the offices of the French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo. The attacks resulted in 12 deaths and sparked global outrage over assaults on freedom of the press. Diptanshu Kashyap reports.
France marked the 10th anniversary of the January 2015 attacks on the French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo and a supermarket, which resulted in the deaths of 17 people. The attackers stormed the magazine's newsroom, killing 12 people.
I think it is still present among the people who were there that day, because these are physical sensations that cannot be get rid of. It's something that is part of our lives, and we cannot erase that moment in our lives.
The attack was followed the next day by Md Coulibaly's killing of a trainee policewoman and a Jewish store attack where he murdered 4 hostages before being killed by police. All 3 attackers were killed in separate standoffs. Former French President François Hollande recalled his strongest memory from that period, the call from a Charlie Hebdo editorial member moments after the tragedy. Hollande was at the center of this unfolding crisis, from the initial response to the solidarity march with the world leaders.
To be president means to take action. In that case, it was about neutralizing the terrorists and ensuring the safety of the French people. But it's also about sharing an emotion, compassion, solidarity.
To mark the anniversary of the attack on its newsroom, Charlie Hebdo released a special edition of the magazine. French President Emmanuel Macron also laid a wreath at the commemoration ceremony. The publication has long pushed the boundaries of free speech. Diptanshu Kashyap's report for DD India.
International flights resumed at Syria's main airport in Damascus on Tuesday for the first time since Islamist-led forces toppled President Bashar al-Assad last month. On 14 December, employees were seen preparing Damascus International Airport to resume operations after its closure on the 8th of December, following the fighting to oust Syria's President Bashar al-Assad. Prior to the toppling of the Assad regime, there were limited international flights operated by Iran's Mirage Airlines and Syrian airline Charm Wings. There was an air of excitement at the terminal. Journalists saw with arriving passengers chanting and cheering, some draped in the country's 3-star independence flag. Syrians carrying colorful balloons and flowers greeted passengers who arrived on the first Qatari commercial flight in nearly 13 years. A Qatar Airways plane landed at Damascus airport for the first time after 13 years of suspension on Tuesday as the airport resumed international flights. Right, now take a look at what else is making news around the world. Jean-Marie Le Pen, founder of France's far-right National Rally Party, has died aged 96 on Tuesday. Jordan Bardella, the president of the National Rally, as the party is now known, confirmed Le Pen's death in a post on social media platform X. Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama was sworn in for a second term as the leader of the West African nation on Tuesday. He won the election last month after pledging to tackle economic crisis, corruption and unemployment. Hundreds of people blocked a highway on Tuesday in Pakistan's mountainous region in protest against power outages. This is the 4th consecutive day of demonstration where protesters complained about power outages lasting longer than 20 hours in peak winter. A nun from Brazil has become the world's oldest person at the age of 116 years and 210 days. Ina Canabaro Lucas has taken the titles of oldest woman and oldest person living following the death of Japan's Tomiko Ituka in December of 2024. And still to come on DD India News Hour, a discussion on AI technology and its impact on India and the world at large. And India's Information and Broadcasting Ministry unveils 2025 calendar.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. A quick recap of the headlines. Over 100 dead after multiple earthquakes in Tibet. Nepal, Bhutan and India feel the tremors. Delhi Assembly election to be held in a single phase on 5th February. Counting of votes on the 8th. And another blow to impeach South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol. Anti-graft agency issues new arrest warrant. Right, political fever in India's capital, New Delhi, is set to rise with the country's election commission announcing the date for the legislative election. Delhi will go to the polls on 5th February. Votes will be counted on the 8th. India will soon have a new record of 1 billion plus voters. DD India's Anil Thomas has the details.
Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar announced the schedule for polls to the Delhi Legislative Assembly. Over 1.55 crore voters will cast their vote, which includes 2.08 lakh first-time voters aged 18 to 19 years. The national capital has traditionally seen assembly polls in a single phase, and the trend continues.
So this is the schedule. We will start, it's a single phase election. Date of notification will be 10th of January, Friday. Last date of making nomination will be 17th of January. Scrutiny on 18th of January. Withdrawal 20th. These are the statutory periods of time which is given. Date of poll is 5th and counting is 8th, and 5th again we have very deliberately kept Wednesday. Entire election process after counting will be complete by 10th.
Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar dismissed opposition claims of EVM tampering, stating that courts have ruled 42 times that EVMs are not hackable and such allegations are baseless.
There is no question of introducing virus or bug in the EVM. There is no question of invalid votes in the EVM. No rigging is possible. High Court and Supreme Court is saying continuously in different judgments which are here. No alteration in results is possible by activating a Trojan horse or a virus. Evidence inspires confidence of the court that they are tamper-proof. What else can be said? EVMs are foolproof devices for counting. Allegations of tampering are baseless.
The Election Commission will write to the Cabinet Secretary informing that no Delhi-specific provision can be made in the Union budget that can disturb the level playing field.
Budget 1st February को आएगा ये आपने पूछा. अब 5 फरवरी को तो पोलिंग है, तो इसलिए ऐसी दिल्ली स्पेसिफिक हम आज ही चिट्ठी इशू कर देंगे कैबिनेट सेक्रेटरी साहब को
आज ही स्टैंडिंग इंस्ट्रक्शन इशू करेंगे कि कोई भी दिल्ली स्पेसिफिक बजट में चीज का शामिल नहीं किया जा सकता विच कैन डिस्टर्ब द लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड.
The Arvind Kejriwal-led Aam Aadmi Party is pushing hard for a third consecutive term, while the BJP has gone all out to turn the tables. Also in the fight is the Congress, which is going alone and targeting both the BJP and the AAP, which was its ally during the 2024 Lok Sabha polls.
Well, it is winters in India, but the political temperatures are very likely to rise now with the announcement of the election dates and the counting of votes a little over a month away. The Election Commission once again clarifying or clearing every doubts in the mind of the voters and the skeptics with regards to all questions being raised about elections and the conduct of it. The Chief Election Commissioner once again stressing on transparency being the most important factor when it comes to elections in India. With my colleague Rishi Kumar and camera person Saurav, Anil Thomas, DD India, New Delhi.
India's Home Minister Amit Shah launched Bharat Portal in New Delhi on Tuesday. Developed by the Central Bureau of Investigation, Bharat Portal will significantly facilitate Indian law enforcement agencies, enabling real-time information sharing for faster access to international police assistance. The development of the platform was necessitated amid a growing footprint of transnational crimes, including cybercrime. The portal will streamline the processing of all requests for international assistance through Interpol, including the issuance of red notices and other color-coded Interpol notices.
भारत पोल हमारे देश के अंतर्राष्ट्रीय इन्वेस्टिगेशन को एक अलग युग में ले जाने वाली एक शुरुआत है. एक प्रकार से अब तक इंटरपोल के साथ काम करने के लिए एक ही एजेंसी नामित थी, सीबीआई. मगर भारत पोल की संरचना होने के साथ भारत की हर एजेंसी, हर राज्य की पुलिस अपने आप को बहुत सरलता के साथ इंटरपोल के साथ कनेक्ट कर पाएगी और सीधा गति अपने इन्वेस्टिगेशन को देने में उनको बहुत सहायता होगी.
Home Minister Amit Shah presented police medals to 35 CBI officials who have been awarded the President's Police Medals for Distinguished Service and Home Minister's Medal for Excellence in Investigation. The maiden India-Malaysia Security Dialogue was co-chaired by India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and the Director General of the National Security Council of Malaysia, Raja Dato Nushirwan bin Zainal Abidin, on Tuesday in New Delhi. Both sides exchanged views on global and regional security environment. They reviewed ongoing bilateral cooperation in security, defense and maritime fields. The two sides agreed to deepen their cooperation in counter-terrorism and de-radicalization, cybersecurity, defense industry and maritime security. They also explored ways to enhance cooperation in critical minerals and rare earths. It was agreed to institutionalize the dialogue by holding annual meetings. India's Minister of Information and Broadcasting Ashwini Vaishnav launched the Government of India's 2025 calendar in the presence of Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting Dr. L. Murugan and INB Secretary Sanjay Jaju. This year the theme of the calendar is Public Welfare through Public Participation. While unveiling the calendar at Rail Bhavan in New Delhi on Tuesday, the minister highlighted the visible impact of transformative governance across various sectors over the past decade. He emphasized the role of transformative governance in improving the welfare of the poor, empowering women and driving infrastructure development across the nation. India's Ministry of Road Transport and Highways organized a two-day workshop on Monday and Tuesday to deliberate issues in solutions and further steps to be taken to help drive transformation in India's road transport sector. The workshops concluded with an address from India's Minister for Road Transport and Highways, Nitin Gadkari, reinforcing the need to bring together all of these themes into a cohesive, forward-looking vision.
हमारी ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री पहले 7वें नंबर पे थी. अभी 4 महीने पहले हमारी इंडस्ट्री ये 4थे नंबर से तीसरे नंबर पर आई है। हमने जापान को पीछे डाला है। हमारी इंडस्ट्री का एक समय साइज जब 14 में हमारी सरकार आई तब 7 लाख करोड़ का था। अभी हमारे ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री का साइज 22 लाख करोड़ का है। हम लोग जिस प्रकार से स्क्रैपिंग पॉलिसी, ऑटोमोबाइल को प्रोत्साहन मिला है, अल्टरनेटिव और बायोफ्यूल में हम वर्ल्ड में लीड कर रहे हैं। CNG, LNG, इथेनॉल, मिथेनॉल, हाइड्रोजन, ग्रीन फ्यूल और अल्टरनेटिव फ्यूल, इलेक्ट्रिक, हाइड्रोजन, तो उन सब की चर्चा भी इस मीटिंग में हुई।
A Fintech Conclave was organized in New Delhi by the Department of Financial Services along with representation from the RBI, the NPCI, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and the Department of Revenue. More than 50 fintech companies and associations participated in the conclave. The Fintech Conclave deliberated on a host of issues concerning the ecosystem, including the new digital personal data protection rules, expanding fintech as well.
During the discussion, some of the issues highlighted were about newly issued DPDP draft rules. There are several ecosystem-related issues regarding greater penetration of UPI to the untapped geographies, especially the rural areas, and how an incentive framework be actually created to make the fintech ecosystem partners engaging in delivering the digital payment services more sustainable over a period of time.
Right, going back to the top story we are tracking here on DD India News Hour, exploring new frontiers in artificial intelligence and how India is making significant strides in the field of AI. Joining us is S. Krishnan. Mr. Krishnan is Secretary Electronics and Information Technology in the Government of India. Mr. Krishnan, welcome to DD India News Hour. Why don't I begin by asking you about, telling us more about the Indian government's approach to AI?
The Government of India accords the highest importance to keeping abreast with the latest technological developments, and AI is clearly one of those. So in March of 2024, the India AI mission was approved at a total cost of 10,372 crore. With 7 major pillars. The first major pillar is basically to ensure that Indian startups, Indian industry, Indian academics, Indian researchers have adequate access to AI compute facility within the country. And about 4,500 crores is intended to be spent on that particular objective. And the first bids have already been put out and they are currently under evaluation. We've received the bids. The second major pillar relates to newer AI applications that need to be created for India's own use, and we've identified about at least 25 different areas where such applications can be created and used for what the country requires. The third major pillar that we are concerned with is creating a foundational model for India, which is based on Indian data, and which hopefully will not carry the kind of biases and prejudices that we sometimes find with other models which are created elsewhere in the world. And the fourth major pillar basically relates to supporting creating of a data platform where data can be created, data can be cleaned up and made available for training for AI applications. So that is the fourth major pillar. The fifth major pillar relates to AI startups. The sixth pillar relates to more skilling in the AI space, because that is a very critical area, and India with its low median age is ideally suited with a large number of STEM graduates to adapt to AI. The Stanford AI Index actually finds that India is probably the most ready in terms of human resources. And the last major pillar relates to the safety and responsible AI segment, which will ensure that the risks of AI are covered.
Mr. Krishnan, what you said just now gives me a perfect segue to my next question to you. That is the aspect of regulation. What can you tell us about regulations globally and nationally?
You see, different countries have taken different approaches to how to regulate AI. In the European Union, there has been an effort to actually legislate on this subject, pass an act. Likewise, China has also passed an act three acts, in fact, to regulate AI. In the United States, there's been an executive order. Likewise, the UK has also taken the approach of having executive orders to attempt to regulate AI. In India, we are approaching it much more carefully. There are certain elements of AI which we believe the existing legal framework will address in some measure. We've already got the DPDP Act, which will help to protect the privacy of data which will be used in AI, and that they cannot be used without the consent of the data principles. Likewise, if there are issues of misrepresentation and AI fakes, AI created fakes, then those can be regulated through existing provisions in the Information Technology Act of 2000 and also in the new BNS that has been created. But in addition, if further legislation is required to regulate some of these aspects, the government will, based on a need, will consider this, as the minister has already indicated. Then we also have executive instructions and advisories that we've issued within the framework of the IT Act to take care of some of the issues which arise in AI, including labeling and declaring that AI, an image or particular content has been created based on AI and is synthetically generated and not real content. So a number of parts of what is needed as a regulatory mechanism, some elements of it are already available. But the government is continuously assessing the situation, and if there is a need to actually legislate on this issue or to bring in fresh regulation, the government will be prepared to do so.
Mr. Krishnan, having listened to all that you had to tell us in the last few minutes, I have another frequently asked question for you. Do benefits far outweigh the risks associated with AI technology?
See, I think with all technologies are double-edged. They have certain benefits and they have certain costs. And how we actually use the technology to enhance the benefits while minimizing the costs essentially is where technology policy really lies, and essentially where government and responsible users need to step in. So I think you can't blame the technology for it. It's the way that we end up using it and the way that government also regulates the use of it, which will determine whether it ends up in the balance being positive or not.
Also, Mr. Krishnan, will AI impact jobs?
Well, it potentially could impact jobs, and this is a worry that a number of people have. But there can also be job creation, particularly in the Indian context, where with the human resources that we have and the young population which can adapt to AI that we have, then we have the opportunity to actually create AI applications for the rest of the world. It's almost like a Y2K moment for us.
I have a follow-up question, Mr. Krishnan, before we wrap this up. Elon Musk calls AI his quote-unquote biggest fear. He says none of us will have a job when AI evolves and grows. He warns that AI technology is harming children. Are Elon Musk's fears and that of some of the viewers watching this program justified?
I mean, it all depends on, like you said, how AI ultimately gets used. There are destructive technologies in the world already, which through effective regulation and through various measures, international cooperation, we've been able to keep a lid on and we've been able to control. And to that extent, I think technology is difficult to stop. How we use technology and how we control technology is really within the hands of societies and governments.
Right, on that note, Mr. Krishnan, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts with our viewers at home and abroad. Thank you for your time. Much appreciated. Right, let's now get you some weather updates from India. The northern part of the country is not likely to get any respite from the cold wave, with the India Meteorological Department predicting light rainfall for the region this week. In the capital, New Delhi, fog persists, disrupting train and flight services. At least 25 trains are running behind schedule. Dense fog is predicted to continue in the eastern states of West Bengal, Bihar and Jharkhand. The temperature is also dipping in parts of southern and western India. In the state of Tamil Nadu, a layer of frost covered roads in the hill town of Ooty. Cold weather has been taking a toll on animals as well. A zoo in the state of Gujarat has installed heaters in the animal enclosures to give the inhabitants a respite from the harsh weather. Right now, take a look at what else is making news in India. The Indian government has announced the establishment of a memorial for former President Pranab Mukherjee at the Rashtriya Smriti Complex in New Delhi. This decision was made public on Tuesday by his daughter Sharmishta Mukherjee in a post on social media platform X. Pranab Mukherjee served as India's president from 2012 to 2017. Security forces disposed of a 10-kilogram improvised explosive device planted by the Naxals in Chhattisgarh's Sukma on Tuesday. This comes a day after Naxals blew off a car carrying 9 security personnel in Chhattisgarh's Bijapur district. Locals performed Odisha's folk dance Ghumura to welcome guests at Bhubaneswar Airport for the 18th Prasar Bharati Divas convention in Odisha's Bhubaneswar. The 3-day convention will begin on Wednesday. The theme of the convention is a diaspora's contribution to a Viksit Bharat. Every 12 years, the Maha Kumbh Mela attracts millions from across the globe, all seeking spiritual solace on the banks of the holy rivers. But what keeps this massive assembly safe and orderly is a seamless blend of tradition and technology. In 2025, security at Prayagraj's Maha Kumbh Mela has undergone a remarkable transformation. From monitoring crowds to managing emergencies, a multi-layered security strategy is in place to maintain peace and guide millions through this sacred journey. DD India Siddharth Bharadwaj has more.
Every 12 years, the Maha Kumbh Mela invites millions of people from all over the world to converge at the banks of Holy River. But behind this, a silent force is at work, ensuring this sacred gathering remains peaceful and safe.
See, the traffic is being controlled by our traffic police and the other police arrangements we have made. But we do include civil defense and other NGOs for helping at the ghats and also, as you mentioned, these old people. And in the digital lost and found centers, various places where humane interface is required, we are including them.
In Maha Kumbh 2025, security has evolved. Gone are those days of traditional patrolling. Technology now plays a pivotal role. I am at the monitoring center which has been set up here at Maha Kumbh 2025, and as you can see behind me, there is heavy monitoring going on. Around 1600 cameras have been set up to make sure no one is left behind.
AI and machine learning have been integrated to track patterns of movement, detect anomalies and alert authorities in real time. Facial recognition is also being used to identify individuals who may pose a threat.
With millions of people gathered at one place, maintaining law and order is no small feat. It takes a unified effort between local, state and national agencies to ensure safe and smooth movement of the crowd.
As part of security measures, security personnel are checking all vehicles and identity cards of individuals entering the area. A bomb squad has also been stationed nearby for any eventualities. Multi-layered strategy for crowd management, including barriers, designated pathways, and constant communication with ground teams. The focus is not just on policing, but on guiding and assisting the public. While technology and authorities play key roles, the real strength of the Kumbh Mela security lies in the hands of its volunteers.
This is Maha Kumbh Mela, where tradition meets modern security, creating a safe haven for millions who come here for faith, solace and peace. With camera person Rakesh Kumar, this is Siddharth Bharadwaj reporting for DD India in Prayagraj.
And in sports, India will field its biggest ever contingent in the third edition of the India Open Badminton Tournament in New Delhi from 14th to 19th January. Lakshya Sen, PV Sindhu and Satvik Chirag will shoulder India's challenge in the Badminton World Federation World Tour Super 750 event, with top stars such as Olympic champions Victor Axelsen, An Se Young and world number 1 Shi Yugi leading the field. This edition promises a thrilling display of skill and precision. The tournament offers participants a prize pool of $950,000 and 11,000 points for the champions. India pacer Jasprit Bumrah, Australia captain Pat Cummins and South African seamer Dane Pearson are in contention for the ICC Men's Player of the Month award for December 2024. Bumrah claimed 22 wickets in the 3 tests against Australia in December and won the Player of the Series award. Cummins took 17 wickets across 3 tests against India. The Australia skipper guided his team to the ICC World Test Championship final in 2025, while Pearson took 13 wickets in 2 tests. He played a key role in South Africa's victories against Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Indian batter Smriti Mandhana, Australian all-rounder Annabelle Sutherland and South African spinner Nonkululeko Maba are among the top contenders for the ICC Women's Player of the Month award for December 2024. Mandhana amassed 270 runs in 6 ODIs. In the T20 format, she scored 193 runs in 3 matches. Sutherland scored a total of 269 runs, which included 2 centuries. With the ball, she claimed 9 wickets, while Mlaba became the first South African woman to claim a 10-wicket haul in tests. In ODIs, she took 2 wickets. That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. Do send us your feedback on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, the DD India mobile app has the latest news and updates from around the world. It's available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran from all of us here in New Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.